Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the final instalment of the Division 2 season in Season 4 of RSF1. I'm Primus Gaming, and joined with me for the final time this season is RSF1 Source. It's good to have you, Source.
It's good to be here.
And how's your day been so far?
Not been too bad, just relaxing today, so...
Is the stream up?
Oh, yeah, it is, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it's definitely... So you can definitely include your audio in the box. You've already got it, can you? Okay, good. As I can't see the bar on my screen, so it's... so I have to hope that doesn't die on me. Right, so... today is a bit of an interesting day because this is probably the smallest qualifying number that we've ever had in RSF1, even at the rerun races back in the day. Only 9 cars for qualifying, but we will be having 11 because Lil Sparks has a qualifying ban, and Mr. Shadan Vettel is not going to be making qualifying on time, so he will be starting later. So, in the meantime, 9 cars. So that consists of both the Mercs, both the Alfa Romeo and Alfa Tauri. We got the Haas, and obviously we got our championship protagonists. And this is the juicy bit. Right now it's currently just Muddy and Lukey. Obviously Vettel, when he gets in, I'm pretty sure he's a full-time Racing Point driver. If the Racing Point completely overthrow Muddy, they win the Constructors. But the drivers, it has gotten to the bitter wire, and we've seen championships in real life been settled here in Abu Dhabi, and for today, we get just that. But Source and I are not alone today, however, in the comms box, because of the lack of numbers, we thought we'd liven up things a little bit. We have a driver here in the little interview.
Who's currently out on mediums.
Who's currently out on medium compound tyres, and if you haven't already noticed, that is the Haas driver of RSF1, Rubens. How you doing, Rubens? I guess we'll wait for him to do a lap before we start asking the questions. Let him get some momentum. Right, so Rubens, you've been out of the season a little while because obviously you began in Division 2, but then you moved up to Division 1 for quite a long while, and then near the latter stages of the season you did join us. Oh, get the cheeky joke.
Season
and so obviously you are kind of late to the party in terms of the championship battle, constructors and drivers. What's your hopes for today, first of all, before I ask you any questions for your career later on? Just finish.
It should be quite easy. And this is probably, I'd say for me, this is one of the easiest tracks where I don't get penalties. There's obviously a few can.
Is that an Anakin Skywalker quote? You're underestimating my power. And then you got the hello there.
Megacenturion's coming across the line. 135 flat. Rubens. Next.
He's making his way across the line.
135.7.
That's not bad. That's 7 tenths off the leading time so far.
Medium as well. So,
Rubens, the important questions to ask, obviously, because this is the final race of the season. This is also the final time that you're ever going to be driving in that Haas in an official racing capacity. The new season is upon us, Season 5. What is your hopes, really, like your future plans for when we jump into number 5? Oh! Whoops.
Sorry about that. He's just realised. we didn't know. He just realised that he hadn't included his audio. Are you sure?
Hey, I know what I'm doing.
There you go.
There we go. I had to put it in AI mode previously. Yeah, so as I was saying, I'll repeat myself because I'm so clever. Yeah, testing initial goal is to get minimum Division 3, hopefully Division 2. Once the season's underway, just have a solid, solid season. I mean, I made decisions this season. I left F2. Wrong decision in the end. I should have just stuck it out. My head wasn't in the right place. I thought to myself, give myself a challenge, and all that. I said, looking back, it was the wrong decision. I thought I should have just stuck at it, so on. It is what it is. But yeah, just to stick in next season, just settle down. I mean, we're going into the unknown. It's new cars. It's a new driving system, new driving handling. So it's definitely exciting. I am looking forward to it. Very, very, very much so. I'm glad to see the back of this game, to be honest. Not really liked it.
I think a load of people agree with you in that, and I think as much as I've had some good times on F1 2020, I think for a lot of people in RSF1, the bad times have outweighed the good because of the fact that this game was absolutely not ready for it was not ready for league racing or online racing in general. It was just way too buggy. So it has definitely been a interesting game. It was nice to see the addition of obviously the previous game. Toro Rosso were a team, so AlphaTauri jumped in place. Obviously the transition from the silver arrows to the black arrows. There's been quite a lot of changes from the last game to this one. The addition of Hanoi and Zandvoort, and I'm kind of glad to be putting Hanoi behind us as well.
We're not racing that track anymore. Yes.
Yeah. That's all gone. However, we've got the 3 new additions into RSF1's calendar. Obviously, I think the committee will go over the full calendar because I don't know if we can run a full or 2 full seasons with the addition of 3 new tracks. So I think maybe votes will get underway to maybe.
My question or my opinion, I don't know obviously fully whether the plan is, but my thought is because Codemasters have already said the 3 new tracks are post-release. It depends how long. Well, it depends how long that post-release is. It could be a day one patch, and they're in. Great, be fantastic. Because you beg the question is, if they're not ready, then why are they, releasing career mode? Because career mode will have all the tracks in, surely. Or is that going to work? And the storyboat Breaking Point, how's that going to work without the new tracks in it? So, yeah, it depends how long post-release is. And then, like, for example, if it's like 2 or 3 months down the line, we'll probably have to start a season and then do, say, next season with the new tracks on, or maybe add them on at the end. I don't know. Really depends.
And, well, I'm looking forward to, obviously, everyone's already aware of my announcement recently that I will not be joining RSF1 for Season 5. I might do later on down the road. It all depends on how I feel, but I'm just taking a... well, initially in my announcement, it was to explore other leagues and get a little bit of racing under my belt. That is partially the truth, but also it's just a little bit of a break because I have been at it for 2 years now. It's been scary to think that RSF1's been running 2 years and is still going. So... yeah, obviously 2 years is quite a long time. It's obviously to take some time to myself, as well as maybe do a little bit of racing in other places on the side, because I've only ever known league racing within RSF1 and nowhere else, when everyone else has had experience in other leagues. So, yeah, I, however, will be keeping an eye on Twitch, because if we can get Imola into our Season 5 calendar, I cannot wait to see what Imola can bring us, because in terms of one of my favourite classic tracks, excluding Monaco, because everyone knows I love Monaco. I can say all the corners fluently. Imola is just hands down one of the most beautiful tracks. Obviously, it's had its fair share of tragedies back in the day, and it is, it's had some dark history to it, but it is still an amazing track, and with its alterations for modern day F1, makes it even more better. So I'm personally looking forward to seeing what these guys can do. And yeah, I will miss RSF1. It's been a really, really long and an amazing journey, and I will continue it eventually someday, but for the time being, I will be signing out after the stream. But obviously, we're going to go back onto that later. We've got Q1 to deal with, 2 cars left. Pretty quiet qualifying. That's why we've decided to bring Rubens along. And Source, actually, that's a question I need to ask you. What are you looking forward to? Because we've asked Brundle, well, Rubens. I call him Brundle because I've known him for a long time as Brundle.
Yes.
Obviously, I've said my point on what I'm looking forward about the next game, and so is Rubens. What are you looking forward to the most about the new F1 game?
Well, obviously all the different driving mechanics, and compared to this game, is going to be a lot more interesting, and it's might take a week or two to get used to. But I'm hoping next season that I can assert myself nicely into hopefully maybe the mid pack, even the top half of the pack in the league, and hopefully get some good points or even a race win under my belt. Obviously moving up from F5 this season, for the past 3 races, so looking forward to hopefully seeing what I can do and seeing how I can compete with the rest of the guys. I feel like I've been a bit unlucky with the past 2 races. Was like the spin, especially last race was with 2 spins. A bit unlucky, but I'm looking forward to seeing if I can get a good decent amount of points.
And obviously, because you two will be driving next season, I won't be from the start. Oh!
How has he kept
Evo!
that?
Evo.
His damage on. His wheel should have come off.
Yeah, damage is on.
He managed to save it because he has got orange damage, but that was close. So I'm going to start with you this time, Source.
Yep.
Out of all of the cars that's going to be in the 2021 calendar, obviously the driver draw is completely random, so we can all pick a car we want, but in the end, it's drawn in. What car are you hoping to get into, and what one are you dreading, Source?
Well, as you said, obviously we don't really have a choice. It comes down to pot luck. The one that I'd probably say I wouldn't want the most is either Renault or Haas.
It's not Renault anymore, it's Alpine.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Alpine, but I still love racing. I still love Racing Point, so I would love to be in the Aston Martin.
Yeah, I think that's actually been quite a favoured car.
It looks really nice.
Qualifying before we carry on with that subject, as it is, only 9 cars, so no one will be eliminated in Q1 unless they crash into a wall. No one will be eliminated
Evo nearly
in Q2
did.
if they crash. Yeah, Evo nearly did.
Evo
no
nearly
one will be
made
eliminated
it 8.
from these qualifying sessions unless they
Muddy Biscuits.
Unfortunately,
Muddy Biscuit saving his tyre wear with the 2-minute-6 lap.
Yeah, he doesn't need
to. Oh, I should have done that. No.
Yeah, what are you doing? Why are you medium? Did you pick balance?
Wait, to be fair, Rubens only did the 1 lap.
On the mediums.
You should have
I'm
gone
not
softer,
starting. I'm not starting on mediums.
Last season,
so.
But yeah. So I was going to say, loads of people, because I love to see British race. Well, it's not really British racing green, but the a racing green car back on the track. Obviously, we haven't seen one since Caterham, so it's been it's good to see it sort of more diverse in terms of colours. So you're favouring more the Aston Martin, but dreading the Haas and the Alpine. But Rubens,
Lukey, get off the wet tyres. It's not going to rain. Come on. It might do, but
if he goes out on wet,
actually, Rubens
sort of disruptive behaviour.
Rubens can let us know.
What?
It's going to be raining.
Or whether it's raining. What do you think?
I don't think.
Hey, there was a bit of cloud last season.
To be fair, it's cloudy and dry conditions for the first 20 minutes of the race, and then it's a moon. So,
fair enough.
Or half a moon.
See, that's one thing I like about Abu Dhabi. It's under half of the race is pretty much under the lights. as well.
Mm.
All of it
Vettel.
is, but it's just I just like racing in the night more than I do in the day on this game, and hopefully it's the same for the next game. Because obviously you said about new tracks. There's one new track that I'm actually very looking forward to, because it's a bit of a mixture between Monaco and Vietnam, which is Saudi Arabia.
Oh, I'm not
also
hopeful with that one personally.
I feel
Really
like
not.
it would be it's going to be a very good league track.
Yeah.
Additional point, obviously anyone who's fortunate enough to collect a PlayStation 5 or a Series X, obviously it's still even till June, going into July, sales on like trying to get a hold of an Xbox Series X, an S, and even a PlayStation 5 is still troubling to this day. Like, can't even get one still. But this game is Series S and X enhanced on the Xbox. Obviously, it is enhanced on the PlayStation 5. So it will be interesting to see the game on the next generation console, because obviously this game was made on the Xbox One. So this is technically an old gen game.
Yep.
So next generation graphics, obviously 4K enhanced.
Do you work for Microsoft? Do you work for Microsoft? Because it sounds like you are.
No, no, but not,
Good
not sponsored, by
advertising.
the way. But if anyone wants to, hire me for advertising,
No.
email me. I'm joking. Anyways, so Rubens, going on to you now. Obviously, we asked Source that question. What is your hopes of getting drawn in, and what are you dreading? Obviously, it is blind luck, but what are you sort of hoping you'll get yourself into?
I mean, all I'm going on is based on looks, really. And it's a silly thing, but I like racing in a good-looking car, or what I think is a good-looking car. And when it comes down to that, I'm kind of with Source. The only car I don't really want is the Haas. I don't know what it is.
I mean, it looks better compared to 2020.
It looks like a toothpaste
So, yeah. Remember when this game first came out, before the Sofina sort of livery came on to play, because the Rocket sponsor pulled out with their deal with Williams, everyone was calling it the Colgate car.
Yeah.
So everyone driving around in minty toothpaste cars.
Yeah.
Rubens, remember, save your tires.
But technically, I guess Haas is the next Colgate car, but not
kind of
as
is.
vibrant.
I'd love Williams. Williams is my personal favourite.
I have to say, I love Aston Martin's livery, but I have to completely agree with you. The way Williams have done this livery this season, it is absolutely gorgeous.
Wouldn't mind Red Bull, wouldn't mind Ferrari if they just take away that green sponsor that's on the side.
See, I still like the Ferrari more than the Red Bull.
You were a Red Bull driver.
Was I Red Bull?
Back in Australia, the debut, with the big pile-up.
I've lost count. I've lost count what cars I've driven this season. It's pretty much summed it up. What was I? Red Bull, and I was in F1 briefly as a Renault, and then Ferrari, I think, at some point, and now I'm in the Haas. So
all over the place.
This is about right, Sauce. This is about right, Sauce. Don't take any energy out the tires I'm going through anyway.
I just noticed something.
You got Mega Zentora, and he's going very slow on his medium tires. So if you can save those soft tires and get top 3 up with
there's
Luki,
a dark horse in this grid. There's a dark horse in this grid right now.
It's not me.
And I'm gonna say who it is, because they will be in the top 10. And they will have freedom of choice because they did not enter Q2. That's Vettel. Vettel will be 10th, and he will have the freedom to pick any tyre he wants for the start, because he didn't make it into Q2 and he didn't make it into Q3, so he is allowed any tyre he wants. Even if we do a lobby restart, I highly doubt we will, but if we do one, everyone has to pick their Q2 tyre, but Vettel has freedom of choice still, regardless of what happens. He could start on hards if he wanted to.
No, but
I don't see why you would.
Why would you do that? Yeah.
Because it's still, an easy
as I said, that is an option though. Just pointing it out there. He can go for a harder strategy if he wishes to. Highly doubt he will, because hards is very difficult on this track. So yeah, we pretty much gone over. Brundle would like to be in a Williams. Oh, sorry, Rubens would like to be in a Williams. Dreads the Haas. Same with Source, dreads the Haas, but he also dreads the Alpine. I have to say, when I heard the comparison videos, Alpine sounds the best, in my opinion. It sounds amazing. The only Renault-powered car for the season.
I wouldn't mind the Mercedes either. Or McLaren.
Being a Mercedes driver, I'd be bored of the... You know, like, whatever car I was in before, I'd prefer not to be in again. Because, if back-to-back season, you would get kind of bored of it, wouldn't you? Like Mercedes haven't really changed. The only thing they've gone for differently is the silver shark fin at the back and Ineos being more of the main sponsor. Ooh. RSF1 Raikkonen. He's in the chat.
Oh no.
Never beat the sound of a Ferrari. I do have to admit, the Ferraris do actually sound pretty nice. I do like the addition that we get like the sound of the screaming turbo now added to the cars.
Oh yeah.
I do quite like that addition. So no matter what you're in, you get that nice sound.
Here we go. Settle out. Not much shoes out my toes. Only 2%. Boom. Second.
E2. So Ruben's in the top 3.
I've done something wrong though. Everyone else is on mediums, I think, by the looks of this.
So now we're going to go into a bit of an important question because Ruben, you have been here for a long time.
Make me sound old.
Obviously. Well, we've gone through 2 games now. We've gone through 2 seasons on both F1 2019 and F1 2020. Can you go over the high points and the low points of your time within RSF1 since you began? Obviously, it doesn't have to be strictly like saying what race was your worst or like what has been your high moments and your low moments of your time in RSF1 so far.
Well, the thing is, I do commentary as well, as people know. And I'd actually say that the F4 finale of last season, where we had to do the rerun in Singapore, I think doing that was, commentating on that, I think was been the highest point so far. Could possibly be topped by whoever is crowned F5 champion this Tuesday when I do that one, because you know me, I love the commentary side. I arguably like it more than the racing side, because I like it like a story. It's like you follow the season and you get. Obviously, I'm meant to be neutral at all times, and 90% of the time I am. But I get attached to certain drivers. You want them to win their first race, and you get excited about it because they're excited about it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to F5 this Tuesday. Low point. Easy. Getting disqualified in Mexico last season with the time penalties.
I remember that. I was sadly commentating on that race when you unfortunately got disqualified.
But I got a meme, so happy with that. Right, I'm going to leave you to it.
Someone cheering you on.
Who's cheering me on?
AWAT14 says, "Come on, Rubens, get points, lad, for the Haas."
As a fellow Haas driver, I think.
You have someone cheering you on.
Alright, I'll leave you two to it. I'll go focus on Q3 and so on, so...
Yep.
Yeah, have fun. I know it's difficult saying that we were going to get 10, 11 drivers, but is what it is. Last race, and I'll pop back in at the end.
Right,
unless I win.
Speak to you soon. Unless you win, you'll be here anyway.
Or you get top 3.
So for anyone that doesn't know, Rubens will be joining us at the end regardless of his result. So we will be hearing from him again before we wrap up the stream today.
Yeah.
So we're good luck with your qualifying for Q3, and also good luck in the race. As AWAT says, bring some points home for Haas.
I can bring home a point, maybe. That can be enough.
Any points is good points.
All I need to beat is one person, I think. So we'll see. See what I can do.
All right. Well, good luck, mate, and we'll speak to you soon.
Bye.
Source.
Yep.
You've been with RSF1 for a little bit, haven't you?
I joined halfway through last season.
So in your time since halfway through season 3, what would you say has been a good moment, and if you have had any low moments in your time?
Low moments probably the first half of the season I joined, because I didn't expect everyone to be as good as they were. I thought I was okay, but I didn't think I was as bad as I thought I was until I started racing. That was probably the lowest, but the highest was when I was in second behind McCracken in F5 at the Netherlands. Virtual safety car come out, and I got just enough time to not get a driver penalty, and then next thing I see is McCracken gets a driver penalty, which then he went straight in on the next lap and gave me P1, and I managed to gain 7 seconds to the person who came out second, and then I managed to stick with the 7 seconds between me and the person, and I believe I didn't actually have any penalties either. So that was my first race win and my only race win. So
there's nothing better than your first win. Before we carry on, there's a random person in the game. I noticed them slide in. If anyone can contact them, unless they're an unexpected visit, who's joining late, but I'm pretty sure I've never seen him before. If anyone could message that person to please leave the lobby.
When you go on race directory, you can only see the 9 people racing.
They're H-Win Yard 37, yeah.
I don't see why
you go by
you should have to see.
You recently met.
Yeah, but obviously, with the race directory, with the drivers, if a new person comes in, it should be able to pop up saying that this person's in there, but he's not been able to set time yet. But
yeah, unfortunately, it's because Q1's come and gone. I think, regardless of even if we had 9 cars finishing Q1, I think if you're late to qualifying, Q1's your only safety area. If you join after that, then you're not getting in for the rest of the qualifying session.
Yeah.
Anyway, continuing on our subject, so your high point was your first ever win in the Netherlands, and your low point was the opening season.
I'd say that's probably my second lowest point. Just remembering now, at the start of this season, I was 12 seconds ahead at Australia, my first race in F5. First proper race start and first proper start in season. Australia, I was 12, on hard tires, 12 seconds ahead. I'm gonna remind him he might be watching. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I don't know if he's still in the league or not, because I haven't really paid attention to anything much. But he, Shadow Moses, spun out in the Mercedes on the fast left-right. Australia, and as I come around the side, he
turn 11
as he hit, I don't think he pulled out maliciously. I think he collided with the wall, and obviously it pushed him out, which pushed him straight in the way of my line. It was a racing line, and I just T-boned him, and it just destroyed me and just took me out of the race. So that would have been my first race win, but yeah, I'd probably say that was the lowest point, because I was so happy that I was so far ahead and that I had it in the bag, and then it snatched away from you. Is never a good feeling.
Yeah, I hear you. I've had plenty of times where I've had that. Oh, Cornish Primus, what's been your highs and lows of this season? So
speaking about it,
of this season in particular, because obviously I've had my highs and lows since I began my journey with RSF1. But to stick to the question from Cornish, this season, my high moment would have to be when I won in Baku. I hadn't won a race in RSF1 since I debuted back in season 1, literally brand new, fresh rookie league racer. I've never done it ever before in my life. First time I've ever been in a racing league in a game. So it was I was a fish out of water back then, and I won my first race back then. But this season, it's just I hadn't won since then. So
who's joined?
Bang You're Dead. He is in the league, but he's not in Division 2, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, when I won in Baku, I had the pace. It was raining as well. We have a nickname for my car because how much I quite like wet weather and how quick I am in wet weather. We've nicknamed my Mercedes the Platypus because it's semi-aquatic. So, the Platypus, my Mercedes. Also, being from Norfolk, we have our webbed feet and hands. So I can make that joke. I live here. But no. Yeah, I quite like wet weather, and I won that race. And honestly, I never expected to win because I started P12, and to go from accepting second place to catching Charismix at the very last moment and beating him because he had a penalty and I didn't. It's the first time I ever won on track properly, crossing the line, because I got given the win after the race in Season 1 because Bennett, I remember he readied up before the host, so he had a 10-second penalty. But yeah, when I won that race, I was so happy because at the time my dog had been put down, my nan had died, and I was in a very low spot. So when I won that race, it lifted my spirits, and I was happy. I know it's just a game, and obviously we're not getting anything out of it except for the experience, and it was certainly a really, really good moment. My low point, in brutal honesty, I'd say my only low point was Mexico, when I was battling with Alco for the lead and we had contact and it pretty much took me out. I'd say that was my only low point. Other than that, it's been an absolute perfect season. I've had an amazing teammate, Old Manzi. Also been chatting with Graded Vinny. Both of them, the phenomenal championship battle I've had with Cornish and Alcos. Also Cornish, big shout out and congratulations on becoming the F4 champion. It's thoroughly deserved. But yeah, if RSF1 has done one thing, it's made a complete bunch of strangers really, really good mates.
Yes.
And I'm glad that no matter what happens in the future with RSF1 or wherever anyone goes, I know I've made some really, really good friends here in this league. Obviously, it'll be easier to answer the low point if we referred to the beginning of my journey, but obviously that question hasn't been asked yet. So obviously I won't go on about it if no one's asked me.
Yeah. Did that person leave?
Bang Your Dead did leave, yeah.
Okay, I messaged him just to ask him.
Mates is a strong word, bud. We're rivals, yeah, on track we're rivals, but when we chatted outside, we're mates, we're just having a laugh, So, I don't have any ill will or anything like that to anyone because, in the end, we're all just having fun.
Oh, Caesar invalidates. Next is Muddy?
Muddy Biscuit.
No, it's not. It's Evo. No, Dangerous Dan.
It's Evo? Dangerous Dan.
Evo's just started.
Sorry, yeah. In Q1,
yes.
In Q1 we had it was hard to try and spectate some drivers because obviously not all cars have been filled. So Charles Leclerc, Daniel Ricciardo, so many cars that haven't been filled. So it was kind of a bit weird scrolling through the actual driver names when trying to find one of these lot. But anyways, we got an Alfa Romeo now in the pit lane. So Dangerous Dan will be the first car to set a proper lap time in qualifying in RSF1 in Abu Dhabi.
Very good lap.
And it's a 1 minute 33.750, and that's actually I quite like that. It's quite punctual. But then Hardy, a tenth faster than the Mercedes driver, puts his AlphaTauri on the top. Keep an eye on Draco though, because he has been doing really good lately. And last time in Brazil was the only time. He beats Hardy by 3 tenths of a second. Well, can he beat it? That's the question, though, because we don't know if Draco likes it here. Round the final corner goes CSR Draco. Oh, he just beat Lukey. That's just about a tenth.
Draco is the guy to beat so far. One thing we need to mention is the drivers, constructors.
sorry to cut in. We just got a new person in the stream. George Stevo, can anyone join? In this race, at the current moment, unfortunately not. It is a league race, regardless of the amount of drivers. But yeah, if you'd like to join RSF1, the Nightbot has posted links in the chat. It's racingseriesf1.com. Please go on there, sign up on the website, also get a hold of...
there you go, I pasted it in the chat just in case you missed it.
That's Shrimpers. That's Shrimpers GoFundMe.
I just saw a link. Yeah, click it. There it is.
But yeah, George Stevo, if you join up on the website, you'll soon get a hold of one of our members in the committee. We're an Xbox Racing League, and yeah, hopefully we'll be able to see you on the grid in Season 5 if you do join. But yeah. Also,
yes.
Speaking of Source accidentally posting it, please check out the GoFundMe page that we have linked with the Nightbot. It is for one of our drivers, Shrimper. He's been with the league for a while. Unfortunately, he's battling with cancer right now. No one ever deserves to battle with cancer, but we all have faith in Shrimper. We want to, make sure his spirits stay strong, even though he's got rough treatment up ahead. So if you want to show your support for Shrimper, please, even if it's just a tiny donation, every little bit does help, and it matters massively because, even just a small amount can really do him a massive favour. So if you want to show your support for Shrimper's battle with cancer, please click the GoFundMe and make a donation. If not, at least, cheering him on in the chat, giving some best wishes. I'm pretty sure he'd appreciate that as well.
We need to talk about two things for today's race for F2, is the Constructors and the Drivers' Championship.
The only time I've ever known both the championships to go to Abu Dhabi, the final race of the season.
I know, but yeah, for the drivers, between Muddy and Lukey, there's 4 points in it. Lukey is 4 points behind Muddy as of today, so Lukey needs to beat Muddy. I believe if he beats him, then he wins.
Depends on where he is, though. Centurion! That could have been bad. I was on board with him as well. He went over the sweeping right-hander, and unfortunately caught the curb, lost control, and hit the wall. So that is Centurion with wing damage. He might have enough time to get back around and maybe get a new one on. But yeah, if Lukey does win the Grand Prix, no matter where Muddy is,
he should win. Yes. He should do it. I think if Lukey gets second and Biscuit gets third, I believe Muddy Biscuit would still beat him by 1 point.
I think so.
That would be a very interesting race. As Caesar Wizard invalidates. Yep, go on.
It's also advantage Racing Point at the moment because Vettel is lurking in the background, even if it doesn't put him in his Racing Point and he's in a... Oh! That was close.
Caesar, I thought he was gone.
I was on board with that again. What's with the Alfa Romeo? They suddenly have... They're very accident prone, aren't they?
Oh, Megan's Intro went round again.
No. He achieved damage earlier that lap, so this lap, sorry. So he's peeling in. But yeah, regardless of what Vettel's being put in, he's a Racing Point driver at the moment.
Yes.
So wherever Vettel finishes, if he can get some really good points, it will secure Racing Points championship in the Constructors. Obviously, if one of the Racing Point do DNF, because this is, and I hate to say this word because, I said it in Brazil.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to say it again, Source, and I think you remember what word it is. Hypothetically speaking...
Oh, no!
Hypothetically speaking, if one of the Racing Points DNF and Muddy outscores Lukey, Muddy won't just secure the Drivers' Championship, he'll also secure the Constructors. But if both the Racing Point take it easy and at least score more points than him, then it is pretty safe to say Racing Point would secure the Constructors.
Well, you saying that, even if Muddy Biscuit beats Lukey, it's still it's still not guaranteed that Muddy would win the constructors for McLaren because they're 17 points behind the Racing Point at the moment.
So
there's only 17
it's
points.
It's pretty much under wraps, really. Then,
the thing is, it could happen. It's not impossible for Muddy to win the constructors and keep the drivers' constructors.
It's
championship.
difficult,
Very
but
difficult.
it's not impossible.
But if he outscores Lukey by 17 points, so if Vettel and Lukey possibly both crash out, hypothetically, we'll say that word again.
Hypothetically.
And Muddy Biscuit finishes in second or first, he will take Constructors' Championship as well as retaining the lead for the Drivers' Championship.
Again, that word hypothetically is what we're throwing out there because it may happen, it may not happen. Anything is possible within league racing, and Barry also mentioned if Lukey finishes anywhere other than first, he needs to beat Muddy by at least 2 positions, which is correct. So even if Lukey gets second and Muddy gets third, Muddy still wins. But I'm pretty sure even if Lukey beats Muddy by 1 position and Muddy wins the drivers, Lukey does still take the Constructors' Championship.
Yes.
So in a way, both of them can be winners today. But
Lukey's not going to want
battle.
that. Lukey's going to want
No, Lukey wants the sweep.
So will Muddy. It's going
he
to be
wants the clean sweep.
If we can have those two battling the whole race, it's going to be very entertaining.
I think Muddy, though, might already be at terms with the fact that the constructors might not go his way. I think what really and truly matters is the drivers.
Yes.
Because, yes, it's one thing about being the best team, but the more important thing is being the best driver.
Yeah, obviously we don't have his teammate because I believe Shrimper is his teammate, which obviously we don't have tonight racing. So, if Muddy wants to win the constructors as well, it's all down to what he can do as he goes fourth.
Very nicely done, P4.
Muddy and C. Oh, Mega Zentora's not going to set a lap.
No, he's invalidated, but Caesar 2 Wizard hasn't. We have to keep an eye on some of the cars approaching because Lukey's just done the fastest second sector. Here comes a shouty bit, and this is for the last time for a while. But here comes one of the championship protagonists. He's sitting second place behind Muddy Biscuit right now. He needs to get a really good gap between himself and Muddy if he wants any hopes of winning the Drivers' Championship today. P3 to RSF1 Rubens in the Haas.
Draco's invalidated. What can Lukey do?
Oh, Lukey also had a little bit of a wobble going around the second last corner. Lukey takes professional pole. That's big.
Caesar Wizard's coming through the line. He's coming down.
Dangerous Dan. P3.
Knocks Rubens. Caesar goes to 7th.
2 Wizard gets 7th.
Evo takes it back.
Gets 7th.
Oh, Hardy's invalidated, and so is Megan Zentora. So,
but I have to say, Lukey is and isn't in the ideal situation right now. Do you want me to tell you why?
Why?
Because, yes, he may be in front, and he has 5 cars behind. Well, sorry, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he has 5 cars between himself and his championship rival. However, 2 of those cars can be a serious threat from the get-go because we know how, Dangerous Dan has won a few races, and Draco, with how his late pace has suddenly shot through the roof.
Oh, contact!
Lukey. Oh, no, it's just the AI cars. There's no need to panic. I mean, if this was F1 2019, then I would completely understand you panicking if they crashed into each other.
I just thought I'd liven it up a little bit.
Oh, contact!
There's contact!
But Draco is quick.
Yes.
And he's got Draco and Dan behind him. He is not safe going into turn 1 because if they get a better launch than him, it will leave him vulnerable.
Yeah, the thing is, we need to remember that in the past 6 races, Drake has won 5 of them. But you might have forgotten, the only person that can really catch everyone off guard is Rubens because he is the only one starting on soft tyres.
That is true. He's in the top 2 rows.
Obviously, we don't know what
I think this is
Vettel's
one of
doing.
Rubens. is this Ruben's best qualifying performance so far? Like, obviously, I know it's only a short amount of cars.
Since I've been commentating, I believe
regardless
of
the number, P4 is still very good.
Someone just like snapped on my chair. Whoops.
Bang Your Dead's also rejoins the lobby. He needs to stop joining. If he's not racing tonight, he needs to, back off. So
I'll message him. Let me know.
Source, would you like the honours of the formation lap? There, he's gone again. Would you like the honours of the formation lap?
Yes. Oh, he's left. Okay. Yes. I'll do it, and then I'll let you for the last time. Unless you want to do both, because it is the last time you'll be doing it.
I mean, if you're okay with that,
I don't mind. It's the last time you're doing it.
Be all screamy.
It's fine. You've been there longer than me. I know that don't matter, but it's the last race you're doing for a very long time. Hopefully not the last race ever. Since it's the last one you've been doing for a very long time, I would like you to be able to do both if you would like to.
I wouldn't mind doing that. Thank you very much. So obviously, for anyone who's new here, I think George Stevo was one of the new people here and actually in the chat. For anyone who doesn't know why we're sitting in this little area here, this is the transition period. So this is the moment between Q3 and the formation lap. So for anyone who has gotten through, who's not managed to get through into Q3, they obviously have the freedom of choice in terms of their tyre choice. Also, with Parc Fermé enabled, you are only allowed to make small alterations to your setup. However, the exclusion will be RSF1 Vettel because he joined late. Technically, he does not fall under Parc Fermé regulations. So that means the only person who can put a setup on is RSF1 Vettel. So that could also be Vettel's advantage because all the drivers will be on qualifying
and he gets a free range of tyres.
He gets free use of tyres. He can put on a race setup when everyone else is on qualifying setups and use tyres. So Vettel, as I said before, he's a dark horse candidate for this race. I reckon Vettel is a danger here, not just for the constructors, but for anyone here, as well as Rubens because he's on the soft compound tyre.
Yes.
So the drivers can go over the strategy, choose if they want to do a 1-stop or a 2-stop. I think I highly recommend a 2-stop here. Also, you're allowed to choose to underfuel or overfuel, and if you are affected by Parc Fermé due to getting into the full qualifying, you're only allowed to make tiny alterations to your setup. Like, I think tyre pressures is a little bit, and you can only adjust your front wing, and there's a couple of other... I think it's the differential?
I believe you can do I believe that, because in the race you can do it, can't you? So, it's the differentials.
Yeah, you play around with it.
Yeah.
AWOT says Rubens for the win.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a very good chance because since he's the 2-stop's everyone probably should be going for the 2-stop. Rubens obviously on the fastest compound to start the race as Lukey makes sure we getting underway. But yeah, Rubens obviously on the softer tyres, so he should be.
There's an advantage and disadvantage to Rubens though, which I just noticed.
Yes.
This is a high degradation circuit, correct? Moderate. It's a moderate degradation. So that means, yes, initial opening couple of laps pace, Rubens will have it. But after time, those softs will fall off, and those mediums will come into play. So the Rubens will have to make interesting strategy calls to really figure out how we can salvage some good points for today, because I'm saying salvage because we've only got 10 cars.
Yes.
Little Sparks was meant to be joining us at the beginning of the race because he had a qualifying ban, but that is not meant to be. So for the first time ever, we only had 10 cars for the start of a Grand Prix. And here is the formation lap as it stands, going from the back of the grid to the front. In 10th place, and I think he's actually really glad to be in this car because in 2020 it was Sebastian Vettel's car.
Oh, yeah, he gets
RSF1
Vettel.
Vettel.
Forced into that car, doesn't he? Because obviously he's a racing point, so...
You get pushed up the list, if this, because both the Mercedes were taken, the next car on the list that was available was a Ferrari, so
I would have got
put in that.
To be honest,
yeah, I would have thought that, but in the end, I imagine he's really happy because at least he can get it to be in his favourite driver's car. Obviously, that Sebastian Vettel gets driving. So yeah, Vettel 10th on the soft compound tyre, and he's doing a Kimi Raikkonen right now, just driving in a straight line down there. So yeah, he's P10 on the soft compound tyre, so an aggressive start to Vettel. Mega Centurion 9th on the mediums, followed by Caesar 2 Wizard in 8th on the mediums as well. Both of them not unfortunately having a good qualifying session because they both either invalidated or had damage. SLR Evo managing to pit back 7th place off of Caesar 2 Wizard at the very end of Q3, so very well done to him. Muddy Biscuit, the championship leader, is in a little bit of a tough spot today because he's starting in 6th place and his championship rival is all the way in pole, so he has a lot of work to do today to minimise that damage, and he needs to make sure that he gets back up right away to catch Lukey. Meanwhile, Hardy in 5th in the AlphaTauri. 4th is RSF1 Rubens, the leading soft compound runner in the top 2 rows, so he needs a very good start as well. Get a gap between himself and the cars in front, get them behind him and get a good gap if he wants to hope to maximise this stint. 3rd is Dangerous Dan, a Mercedes driver who's surprised us from time to time here in RSF1 in this season. So Dangerous Dan starts in P3 in the Mercedes. 2nd, the man who's won 5 races out of the 6 that we had, as pointed out by RSF1 Source, CSR Draco.
Can he make it 6
and the
out
man
of 7?
Who's 6, who could make it 6 out of 7, correct. And the man who's probably feeling the most pressure at the moment, the championship runner-up, is Lukey. And Lukey has got 2 titans behind him. Obviously, we're going to include, actually, we'll say 3 because Rubens has those softs. This is going to be a scary race for Lukey if he can stay in front of this pack. But here we are for the final time in Season 4. In RSF 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's lights out in Abu Dhabi for Division 2. Draco, he doesn't get a good start like Lukey does. Lukey gets a really good run into turn 1. Rubens down the inside on Dangerous Dan, immediately up to P3, but Lukey doesn't get a good run through the first couple of corners, which means CSR Draco is now getting a little look at the championship runner-up. He's going to get down to the the chicane. He's going to try and maybe get a little look, can't do it. Rubens gets a really good start. There's been contact. Vettel. Vettel has taken a few cars at the moment and he's getting really pushy at the moment. Clashing wheels.
On the outside.
It's a drag race. Meanwhile, back on board with the top 3, Rubens is getting a really good run on CSR Draco. Do you remember he has a softer compound advantage? Gets a little move off the racing line, sends it down the inside, actually at the end of the straight. Draco holds it. Looks like Rubens has to back off a little bit because he had no room. Dangerous Dan gets a little look on the Haas driver, going down the end of the second DRS zone. Obviously no DRS until the end of lap 3. Looks like round the outside goes RSF1 Rubens on CSR Draco. Draco holds the inside, locks up. Rubens unfortunately has to yield, covers off Dangerous Dan, who also has a lockup. Lukey's now pulled a gap of 0.8 of a second as it stands on lap 1, and that means right now in terms of the Drivers' Championship, it's in favour of Lukey.
Vettel made a very audacious dive bomb on Caesar Wizard to manage to get past him. Obviously, the soft tyres helping Vettel out a lot with the grip, gaining the grip a lot quicker and managing to help him through, get past Caesar. He's moved all the way from 10th up to 7th already within 1 lap.
Rocking on Sebastian Vettel's Ferrari, chasing down the McLaren of Muddy Biscuit. Again, this is important for the Constructors' Championship because Vettel may be in a Ferrari. DRS is not enabled. That's just the game being a bit weird.
It's lap 3.
Yeah, it's lap 2 at the moment.
It should be, yeah.
So right now, Vettel needs to get ahead of Muddy Biscuit, put him down. Lukey's actually, no, he's not falling down the grid. That's just the grid going, again, really stupid. Draco, however, it looks like he's biding his time. This is a track where being in a train is quite common. However, the medium runners are pulling a gap to Rubens.
Yeah, it's very maybe they might have a faster setup on like straights. Rubens might be able to gain them through the corners.
Oh, Vettel on the inside at the end of the straight. It looks like Muddy Biscuit shuts the door on him though. Vettel will have to back off and stay in 7th for the moment, but he is incredibly racy on those soft compound tyres, pressuring the championship leader. Can't do anything at the moment, but Vettel is on it. And, it's good battle so far.
Rubens has been put under pressure by Dangerous Dan.
Yeah. Dan's managed to keep the mediums going, but this is a bit of a difficult track, and Rubens may have gotten a really good start, but it's a matter of finding consistency and pace. And sometimes on a track like this, where it's corner after corner, bend after bend,
let's see what happens with the lap when you go over the.
It's very difficult.
See what happens with the number of laps. Vettel gets a 3-second time penalty already.
Vettel is the first person to receive one.
Right, it stays on lap 3. Now DRS is enabled.
Now the game's telling the truth.
It should be.
Now we have it.
Right, here we go. This is going to be... Rubens is up to 3rd.
Rubens is in 3rd still, and Dangerous Dan is still very close to the Haas driver. The chances of a safety car here is very low due to the shortage of drivers. So unless someone has a really, really bad off and into the wall, we will see no safety car. But in the hairpin, and he's got DRS assistance.
They both have DRS.
Oh, it's a drag race.
Vettel should get him with the softer combine now.
Oh,
still almost by the side of him.
Keep it there. Late braking round the outside. Muddy can't do it.
Muddy's got more ERS though. Can he? Oh! Rubens is gone. Rubens is gone.
No, we lost Rubens. Unlucky to Rubens. No damage though. But I think it's just because he caught the curb, sent him off, and unfortunately he's now at the bottom of the grid, so he has work to do. But that means now Draco and Lukey.
Everybody's name.
It looks like Dangerous Dan now has the ability to close the gap if he can, but Dangerous Dan doesn't look like he's able to.
Oh, the teammates of Caesar and Mega Centurion!
Have they made contact?
I got X everybody's name, so I might cut. No.
Oh,
but they went very close through the third at the start of the sector 3. I've got red X's, so I might get kicked in a minute.
Okay. If anyone hears Source either cutting out or disconnecting completely, he might randomly disconnect, so it might happen. For the moment, it doesn't look like anything has happened between the two Alfa Romeo drivers at the current moment. So as it stands from lap 4 of 28, it goes Lukey, Draco, Dan, Hardy,
Rubens.
Vettel, Biscuit, Wizard, Centurion, Evo, and then Rubens. But Rubens has gone into the pit lane and
what is
medium tyres.
Okay.
You okay there?
In my game, I'm going to leave the game because Muddy's just... Rubens is just in a wall.
You're lagging quite a bit.
Rubens is just...
And there goes Source. Source has lagged out for the moment. As it stands right now, CSR Draco is catching the championship runner-up and putting pressure on him. Unfortunately, we just lost RSF1 Source. I can try and invite him back, but I don't want to... Oh, hang on. I'll open the party. Oh, it is open anyway. Source has reset, so for the meantime, it's just you, me, viewers, and Draco bearing down on Lukey. Welcome back, Source.
So just loading into the main menu, and then I'll hopefully be back.
So right now, the top two have opened a gap to the rest of the pack. As it stands right now, 2.2 seconds separate Draco and Dangerous Dan from the rest of the pack. Hardy staying with the Mercedes driver. Vettel on his soft tyres. He's keeping it in there, but that penalty is going to hurt though. You did get kicked out there, unfortunately.
No, I made sure I wasn't.
We've lost a car! There's been massive contact! It's Evo and Caesar 2 Wizard. A virtual safety car has been deployed. 8 cars remain.
Right, am I lagging now?
You are lagging a little bit, yeah.
I'm gonna quickly do a hard reset on my Xbox.
Okay. That is big damage. Evo and Wizard on the final race of the season. Both of them will not be finishing. I would have thought that would have been deemed a safety car, but the game has said, nah, I want a virtual safety car. So that means at the very worst right now, RSF1 Rubens can take home 4 points. Again, that's good points. I think he said that he wanted that to be his goal in getting some points. So regardless of what happens today, Rubens will be getting them, as long as he gets to the full race distance. As only a VSC, I completely agree with you. That was absolutely mental. Cornish, I can still be on standby if Source's internet continues to... Yeah, if Source can't seem to get back in and we can't do anything, then feel free, Cornish, to step in as emergency cover. However, the virtual safety car has gone in, and we continue racing. And if I look at the penalties as it stands, no one has received a drive-through penalty, which is what we'd like to see. DRS is now enabled, and we carry on. Lap 6 of 28. Top two still battling hard. The gap to leader is, from, let's say, Vettel in 5th place, is 5.5 seconds separating himself and Lukey. So the pack is still staying quite close. The top two ain't pulling away as quick as they would do. I'd say they're pulling off maybe a couple of about a tenth or so per lap. So maybe up to two or three tenths per lap, actually. So they are pulling up some distance. Here we go. Getting the slipstream and the DRS and the ERS. Draco gets a look. Lukey tries to cover him off. Draco backs off very last second, but nasty lock up by Lukey allows Draco to get a very good look. But Draco suffers with unfortunate, he has issues of finding traction out of the chicane. So Draco will not be making the move there because of that nasty little bit of Scooby-Dooing basically on the spot. The battle for the lead is intense, and the battle for the championship is just as intense. Oh, big lock-up from the pair of them, of Lukey and CSR Draco. Hardy also catching up to Dangerous Dan. So, interesting to see what's happening at the moment. Dangerous Dan still holds P3. Aggressively, well, not aggressively, but he's valiantly defending and holding back the AlphaTauri. Also, Vettel, he's on those soft, and eventually they will start to degrade. So that means his tyre advantage will soon slip away. So... RSF1 Source is still having issues in trying to join back. Hopefully he can join back. Back in front. Draco down the inside at the end of the straight. Gets a move done. Gets ahead. Lukey falls back. Clean overtake by Draco. Lukey's now down to 2nd place. And Rubens collects a 3-second time penalty. Meanwhile... Lukey is getting the slipstream on Draco with the DRS assistance and is slowly clawing his way back up. But it looks like even though Draco has made the pass, he's not quite pulling away. Looks like staying within the back of the car, getting the tow, does help. In these couple of laps, they've only extended their gap to Dangerous Dan by 0.2 of a second. So only, but it is roughly about 2 or 3 tenths a second, a lap, sorry, is how much they're increasing their lead against him. Vettel has now made the bold jump to get into the pits onto the medium compound tyre. So there's going to be so many pit stops here, and the big question is how many is Vettel going to do? Matty Rubens, 6 seconds penalty in 7 laps. Some people do struggle a little bit with certain tracks, so... And also, that bit of spin as well, so he is quite far back down the grid, so he's just trying his best to catch up back up to the pack. Meanwhile, Lukey trying to stay on board of, he's trying to stay with Draco, but he just had a massive lockup. The one horrible thing about locking up is that's not going to do Lukey any favours when it comes to his tyre life. Because braking late, and getting the lockups will hurt. And looks like Draco had a nasty lockup as well. So currently as it stands on lap 8 of 28, 10 cars started, 8 remain. Looks like Source is still having some issues. Hopefully we can get Source back in very soon. Otherwise, unfortunately, we won't be able to finish the session with him. And we'll have to bring in our backup, which is XRL Cornish. Oh, there he is. There's Source. Hopefully that's all good. Hello there, Source. Nothing so far. Oh, Hardy's getting close to Dangerous Dan. Hello, Source. Good to have you back. Okay, sorry to cut in quickly. Down the inside goes Hardy on the straight. Past Dangerous Dan. Hardy moves up into the podium positions ahead of the Mercedes of Dangerous Dan. Dangerous Dan gets a little bit of a late braking at the end of the straight. Tries to get a little look back on the AlphaTauri. He's got DRS assistance. He's using the ERs as well. He's going to use that extra bit of boost of power. However, he turns the battery off. Still has a look down the inside. Hardy locks up massively into the chicane though. Dangerous Dan. No, he has a bit of oversteer, but Dangerous Dan saves it. Source also, you got to make sure you've included your audio as well when you do join back. Should hopefully work.
Hear me. Please tell me you can hear me.
So testing, 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 testing.
No.
Right, so we'll wait until we see any feedback in the chat on if your audio is there. So yeah, Dangerous Dan.
Right. Cheers, thank you. Cheers, Cornish.
Loud and clear. So it's all good. Thank you though, Cornish, for being
thank you, mate.
At the ready to step in just in case. But for the moment, it looks like Source is okay, and we can carry on with the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And 18 laps to go of this very important race. And as it stands, the championship is still in favour of Lukey. Because Muddy Biscuit is 5th. Muddy Biscuit is 5th, and that means he'll claim 10 points. But with Lukey in 12th, Lukey will claim 18 points. So that means
he'll win by 4
if
points.
Lukey stays where he is, he will lead. Yeah, he'll take the lead and lead by 4 and win the championship. So Evo, so unlucky for me, sums up my season. It's unfortunate, mate, but you did your best this season, and it's been good to see you have some good moments with some good point scoring finishes, and it's a shame to see you had some bad moments as well, but it's been a pleasure commentating over you, Evo. Everyone's been locking up.
I know, I just looked back from Muddy and saw Megas and Turin lock up. It's not looking very good for Muddy at the moment. Because he's losing. It looks like he's sort of staying within the 3.5 seconds of Dangerous Dan, but he's got Mega Centurion, who's just kind of standing on the back of him.
And it looks like even with Vettel collecting a few penalties here and there, being down at because obviously there's only 8 cars left, even if Vettel stays where he is and Lukey, say he doesn't win or anything like that, I'm pretty sure that would still confirm Racing Point's victory in the Constructors if they both continue as is. If Vettel doesn't finish, then he doesn't score any points.
How many points would Muddy get if he finishes there and Lukey doesn't? How many points would Muddy get? 10.
Muddy would get 10th in P5 at the moment.
So even if
10 points in P5.
As it stands, even if Lukey didn't finish and he crashed out, which I hopefully he wouldn't, and hopefully it's not Com's curse, but Muddy would still not be able to take the Constructors from Lukey because he'd be 7 points behind.
But then if Lukey crashes, Muddy moves up a position to P4.
Yeah, so that
means he'll get 12. He'll get 12 points instead. But still,
still wouldn't be enough.
What he needs is both Vettel and Lukey, as I said before, to DNF. Evo says, it's been a pleasure watching the stream back with the great comms. Thank you very much, mate.
Thank you. Hopefully
we try our best.
Hopefully, since I came in, I've been okay. But
you've done fine, Source. You've done a really, really good job.
Draco is just charging away from Lukey.
Yeah, I think Lukey's now struggling a little bit of pace. Could you check out the race director just to see if any of them have made any mistakes in terms of getting any warnings?
Incidents, obviously, Ruben's got one there. Vettel's got one. Ruben's obviously got two, we know that. Yeah, Ruben's got two. Vettel's got two. Ruben's got three, apparently. Yeah, hold on, let me have a look.
Oh, first person to make a pit stop. Dangerous Dan.
Lukey's got one. Draco's got one warning. Yeah, most of it is... Weirdly enough, most of it is Rubens and Vettel. You got Lukey's got one warning, and so does Draco.
Dan hit the wall on the in the pit lane. No damage, luckily, but that could have been bad. Anyways, going on the quick little decision here. Dangerous Dan needs an amazing outlap, and the people in front really need an amazing inlap because if they can get an amazing inlap and stay in front, they've managed to get the cut on Dangerous Dan. But now Dangerous Dan needs to get the a good outlap to get the undercut on the cars in the pit lane.
Yes. As well as obviously Lukey needs to try and get right onto the back of Draco to minimalise the loss of time into coming out of the pit stop. If he can get right on the back, if he can even jump him in the pit, then it would be a massive boost for Lukey and just seeing what he can do. Coming through to the last one, just wondering if they're actually going to pit or they're going to leave it an extra lap or two.
Well,
Draco stays out, so does Lukey.
Dan did make the call first. I think
Hardy's in.
Yeah, Hardy's going to pit because if he can get out in front of Dangerous Dan, he's pulled off the overcut very well.
So does Mega Centaurian. Caesar Wizard, what does he do? He stays.
No, Caesar. You mean Mega Centurion?
Vettel, sorry,
Caesar's out.
Vettel's
Now the question is has the AlphaTauri done it? Has he got the overcut on Dangerous Dan because he's now just approaching the bridge under turn 1, and it looks like Dangerous Dan has got the undercut pulled off.
Be very, very close.
Barely.
Just.
Dangerous Dan has pulled it off only just by the skin of his teeth. It looks like even with Hardy trying to give it everything he can on that in-lap, obviously those mediums were just too far gone. And now here's the juicy part, because now we get to see what the people in front are going to do.
Yeah.
Who's going to bite the bullet? Because if they stay out too long...
I feel like it'd be Draco and Lukey will this lap.
Muddy will as well.
Yes.
Muddy will have to make that decision.
Oh, actually, this is interesting now, because as it stands, Muddy would keep the drivers.
Right now, anyway.
Yes.
What would save Muddy Biscuit is either a safety car or a virtual safety car. That would keep him where he is, minimalise the damage that he'd lose in the pit lane, because the top 4 have yet to pit. Meanwhile, Vettel is on fresher mediums.
Draco's in. Lukey stays out.
Oh, bold call from Lukey.
Go for the overcut.
Draco
Muddy.
in the pits.
Muddy stays.
Muddy's not... Maybe Muddy's tyres feel really good at the moment. So
he might
Muddy
just be
not
copying
taking
Lukey,
that move.
All he has to do is stay with Lukey. All he has to do is just minimalise everything to Lukey. He doesn't need to try and beat him.
He doesn't need heroics. He doesn't need any heroics.
He doesn't need to beat him.
Stay with Lukey.
Yeah, you don't need to beat him. All you got to do is just be one position behind him.
However,
Draco comes out in 5th.
If they finish where they are, Lukey will still win the drivers.
Oh yeah, yes, because if
Lukey doesn't get first place,
he has to be by two positions yet. Yeah,
and the gap between Dangerous Dan and Draco is 18. No, not Dangerous Dan. Lukey and Draco is 18.2 seconds. Obviously, it's slightly extending because it looks like Draco's just getting his tyres up to temperature, as well as it looks like he might be dealing with a little bit of pressure from Dangerous Dan as well. If they want any hopes of staying out in front, I think the top 3 really need to take the bold call in going in the pit lane, and then there's an added risk on not speeding.
Yes, they need to pit now, and it needs to be a sublime pit stop from all three of them. Because Draco is going to be flying.
Luki's staying out.
How long can he make
doing?
Muddy?
Maybe medium softs?
It can't be medium because he hasn't pitted. It can't be medium soft.
No. As long as you finish on a different compound.
Yeah, true.
Or stretching out the mediums as long as they physically can,
and then
getting the best soft stint at the end.
Yeah, maybe because obviously he's obviously gonna go onto the soft, so he's just gonna. He can just drag it around and have as much fun as he wants and go as quick as he can and everything, and he won't need to worry about tyre wear and possibly having a puncture.
A battle that's actually helping out Muddy Biscuit and Lukey. Draco versus Vettel. And looks like Vettel is having a little bit of competition with the Williams driver. However, in terms of the DRS assistance, it favours to Draco. But for that short moment, Draco was getting held up by the Ferrari. Meanwhile, Dangerous Dan round the outside on Hardy. Hardy stays there.
Oh,
they make contact. Oh, Dan was off the track, but he's still behind the AlphaTauri. DRS and ERS assistance to the end of the second DRS zone. It's Dangerous Dan on the inside. Hardy on the out.
Beautiful defending by Hardy.
Very aggressive though, because they clash wheels, but no harm done, no harm, no foul. But it looks like Dangerous Dan has fallen down to 7th place.
Lukey stays out again.
Lukey can try a one-stop, according to Matty, which is very true. He can do it. Mega Centurion has got Draco behind him.
Wait, is everyone else trying to do a two-stop?
The soft runners will have to do a two-stop.
So actually, this favours Lukey.
This favours Muddy and Lukey. Because Draco has got to do this amazing stint and then go back.
Ruben's just flying. He almost flew off the track at the last 2 turns before.
He gained air. I thought you meant he was going really fast, but then you actually meant he gained air.
He was, but his car lifted as well. He slid off the track.
So yeah, Draco can't finish on this compound here. He can finish on softs, but he has to switch to a new set.
Gets past Muddy.
And now Draco begins his chase on Lukey, but obviously he didn't get to commence the chase as quick as he'd hoped to do.
No, but how long can the softs go? How long can...
8 laps, roughly.
8 laps. So Lukey needs to go 4 more laps on these.
So does Muddy, though.
True. But can Lukey... Because Draco's obviously going to have to pit again, so if Lukey can stay in front of Draco, or stay with him if Draco gets past him, he's going to be he's going to have such a big advantage to Draco at the end of the race.
Cornish has made a big observation here, which is actually incredibly well pointed out. Remember when Lukey and Muddy were crawling in Q2?
Oh, I know Muddy did. But Lukey didn't as much as Muddy.
And here's what Cornish said. Because everyone went through to Q2, did Muddy and Lukey crawl around and save their mediums enough to do a one-stop? Remember, some people pushed for the mediums, but all they did was just go around with no ERS, no pushing. They just got around and did a lap. Not an amazing one, a lap. So this could be what they were planning. Vettel getting really racy with Muddy Biscuit, even with 16-lap old tyres against Vettel's 8. This is good racing.
Is it going to go 3 or 4 wide down this DRS?
Probably 3, but remember Vettel has burned his battery. Muddy doesn't need to, but he's expending a little bit to stay there. 3 wide down the straight. Vettel has the advantage, but Hardy's there. Is it going to be 4 with Dan? Oh my God!
There goes the inside.
Muddy's got the look. There's Dan in the pack.
Oh, 3 wide again!
No way!
Oh, Hardy, Muddy Biscuit.
Oh my God!
Oh!
Oh, Vettel's been hit! Muddy's in the second out of the group! What a battle!
What a... Oh my god. Vettel is not going to be happy with that. He is basically pushing Dangerous down around the corners. He is not happy at all.
That was close. Vettel feeling it. Dan just bided his time, found the gap and just said, I'm going for it. And he did.
Oh, Hardy is just flew away from him.
He's pulling away a little bit, but Hardy did have to burn a little bit of tyre life there.
Dangerous Dan's getting very, very antsy. Oh, Muddy jumps into the pit.
Muddy making the call now to say now's the time. He wants to try and maybe do 10 laps on the on the soft compound tyre. Is that a possibility? Maybe it is. Muddy Biscuit makes the call. Now, what's Lukey going to do to react? Because right now,
Draco is closing in fast.
The possibility of
13.
Lukey managing the overcut is very possible.
Lukey has lost 10 seconds to Draco in 3 laps.
I think it's evident in how good the fresh soft compound tyres are compared to those very, very worn mediums. And it looks like the... obviously, remember, the gap between Lukey and Muddy was about 10 seconds or so originally. Now, Muddy needs to put in the best outlap of his life to minimise the damage, because it is pretty much guaranteed that Lukey will stay out in front.
It's not even the fact
that
he needs the best outlap. He needs the best stint of his life.
That is true. The gap's already reduced down by nearly a full second. About half a second, between Muddy Biscuit and Lukey. Lukey's still staying out. Draco is he's got Lukey in his crosshairs now.
Vettel's still chasing down Dangerous Dan, even though Vettel's on the mediums. And...
Oh, Lukey's done it. He almost sailed the dummy. Lukey is now in the pits.
Where will he come out?
That's the big question, because the pack hasn't fell behind.
I believe 5th.
Vettel can't take... No, Vettel's in the pits.
Oh!
Hardy's in the pits. Lukey's been held up! No, he's not.
Yeah, I had that as well, was there?
He just sat there in the pits.
Will he beat Muddy Biscuit out of...
Muddy needs to be 2 positions behind
he's
him.
Come past, just started the next lap.
Muddy Biscuit's in 6th. Lukey's in 3rd.
Now Lukey is going to be chasing every position and around every corner. He's going to be flying, just trying to get past Dangerous Dan and Draco.
Dan and Draco will try and take their tyres to the end. I think Draco could potentially do it, but struggle very much at the end.
I don't believe Dangerous Dan can. I don't think he's good enough on his. I don't know how good he is on his tyres, but I don't think he's going to be able to.
He's had a lot of battling though on them.
Yes, he has. Muddy Biscuit. Muddy Biscuit with a lock up.
So the gaps have now opened a little bit, but now it's a matter of the last push. As it stands right now, with penalties, Vettel has 9, Rubens has 12, but none of the others on the grid have any penalties yet.
Draco has a warning, so does Lukey, I believe. Yeah, Lukey and Draco both have a warning. Dangerous Dan has a warning.
Dangerous Dan
has 2. Dangerous Dan has 2 warnings. Megan Turin's got a warning. Draco's got 2 warnings. Megan Turin's got 2. And that's it. So, Draco is 1 warning away from a penalty. Which could
Dangerous
help
Dan
Lukey.
In the pits.
Lukey only has 1.
Right now, Muddy Biscuit is 3 positions behind Lukey right now. If they stay where they are, obviously Lukey will still win, but Muddy needs to catch.
Dangerous Dan went to
Hardy.
softs again. Ooh, he's gonna be one to watch as well, Dangerous Dan, because he's got some good pace. Vettel is only just behind Muddy, so if Vettel can get past Muddy.
Oh, Hardy made a late move. at the end of the straight, very late braking, locks up heavily.
Mega Centaur gets a DRS
and that allows Muddy Biscuit to slowly close a tenth or two off. It looks like Mega Centurion is struggling for a little bit of pace. But if Lukey finishes second, Muddy needs third.
The thing is, Vettel is very close to Muddy Biscuit right now. If he can get past Muddy, it's going to give Lukey the time. If Vettel can hold Muddy up, if he can get past him and hold him, Lukey's obviously trying to gain time on Draco. He's got 6 lap younger softs.
That is true, but Vettel has got penalty after penalty, and if he continues this streak, Vettel will soon be disqualified from the session for receiving too many penalties.
Rubens has 15 as well, by the way. He's gained another one.
He's wanting to survive, but I think what Rubens needs to do is just take it nice and easy. He gets 4 points at the end of today. Does he want to gamble maybe losing them all? Centurion collects a penalty.
We need to watch Draco more because he is one warning away from a penalty.
But is that going to be enough to affect Draco? Ask the question, because he's very quick.
His tyres will die off a lot more than Lukey. So Lukey's the last 4 laps. Lukey's going to be flying, and Draco's
Muddy and Vettel.
Vettel makes it past him.
Muddy's got the DRS assistance.
Vettel's got no ERS though. But
but Muddy's not using any of it. Muddy's not even going to attempt to fight it. He backs off, let Vettel get ahead. But now, as you said, Vettel could play the team game in buying his teammate time. Draco bites the bullet, gets in the pits.
Lukey's coming to the last 2 corners now.
Yeah, but he has the benefit of being at the very end of the pit lane. Lukey into the final corner. Draco's got the new tyres, and out the pit box he goes. I think Draco might just stay there in front. He needs to get out and quickly.
It's going to be very, very close. They're going to come out side by side, I believe.
Oh,
they're side by side.
Looks like... No, they're not going to be side by side. Lukey just barely has it, but Draco has the tyre advantage now in the latter stages.
That is a very good... that is actually a very good strategy from Draco. He had 20 seconds.
18 seconds ahead, and he knew that he was probably going to only just barely lose out. But now he's got the DRS assistance. He's got brand new tyres, and Lukey's got 2 lap older tyres.
They've got the same amount of ERS. But is Lukey's tyres enough to get him through?
Nasty lock-up from Lukey there. The gap to leader is 10 seconds.
Draco looking to stay with him.
This is big though, because it looks like Draco putting that pressure on. He wants to win, and Muddy's just praying that this battle leads into Lukey making a mistake.
But with this battle, even if Muddy goes past Vettel, will Dan be able to follow him through and jump Muddy as well?
Well, right now, as it stands, Lukey can take a bit of a gamble. He can afford to let Draco go. You know, Lukey doesn't necessarily have to win the Grand Prix. He just needs to stay a certain amount of positions ahead of Muddy Biscuit. So he can take that risk, but knowing Lukey as a racer, he's not just going to let Draco have the win on a silver platter. He's going to make him work for it, but that's also a big gamble, because if they battle too much together, they could make contact and could end Lukey's championship. So in terms of risk here...
Quick.
Oh, Draco's getting the look.
Backs off.
Can't do it. Draco now gets the penalty.
He was one warning. He's just...
And that means now Lukey can afford to let him past and can just sit in his slipstream.
Lukey's using overtake though.
Lukey doesn't want them to pass, but
Draco they both got no ERS. All Lukey has to do is just stay within 3 seconds. Draco's very quick around here, as it's been looking so far. Lukey doesn't need to win this race as it stands.
He doesn't, but if he stays within 3 seconds of Draco, Lukey will win the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
Muddy Biscuit's fallen out of Vettel though. Dangerous Dan's still with Dangerous Dan's still with Muddy, sorry.
It just doesn't look like Muddy's having a good day today, and it could not be his day. It might look like advantage goes to Racing Point in terms of RSF on Vettel and Lukey, because if both the Racing Point win, obviously we have to invite the top 3 to the podium, but also because of the constructors, we have to also invite the constructors winners as well. So if Vettel doesn't make it into the top 3, we still have to invite him into the party because he's a constructors winner.
Oh, Muddy locked up a bit weirdly there.
The gap to leader right now is 1.2 seconds. Remember, Draco's got the fresher tyres, so he can afford to push.
Yeah, I believe he's just every time he's getting on the straight, he's using that ERS just to get a quicker pull away on the corners. Fastest first sector from Draco.
In terms of penalties right now, if they maintain their gaps as they are, Muddy will jump both Centurion and Vettel.
He will
be
go to
P4. That's 12 points, but it still won't be enough to beat his championship rival.
Yeah, because Lukey will jump to first as well, so it would be even more points for Lukey on Muddy.
It depends though, because Draco's now opened up the gap to 1.8 seconds and continuing to increase. Because remember, Draco was absolutely flying before the pit stops, and he has 3 laps fresher tyres. Because if Lukey pushes his softs now at the end of the Grand Prix, they will be shot, and he can't afford that.
No, Draco
hasn't on Muddy Biscuit.
Draco hasn't got any more warnings. Lukey still only has 1 warning. So Lukey has a little bit of place to play with.
The gap's instantly 2.7 seconds. Draco is flying, and that means Lukey was possibly going to get the win. He might not get the race win.
3 seconds.
Draco's now out of danger, only just over it, but he's out of danger regardless. Draco is now back in the contention of winning the Grand Prix.
But Draco's pushing so hard that he could easily get another penalty. He's still got 2 warnings to play with before he gets the warning for the penalty. But he needs to be careful with how much he's pushing. He doesn't need to push as much and that much anymore because he's out of the. He's gonna as it stands, he wins the race. But if he keeps pushing, keep fighting with the limits, he could get another penalty, which could make him lose.
That's what I think he's trying to do. Push as far as he can. It looks like a little bit of infighting up in front. It's Vettel and Centurion. Vettel gets up into P4 past Mega Centurion. Don't forget Vettel has lots of penalties. Looks like Vettel trying to cut the slipstream, but
Dangerous Dan's got the speed. Very close to Muddy Biscuit. He's gaining really fast. Will he go for the out move?
Muddy
goes to the outside.
Room. Dan breaks late, but Muddy gets the better run. Shuts the door on Dan. Now Muddy's out of the DRS though.
Dangerous Dan's getting Muddy Biscuit to the outside. He's got past him as it stands.
Oh, that's not good for Muddy Biscuit's championship.
Vettel stays in front of
12 seconds separate Muddy and Lukey right now, and is not favouring Muddy Biscuit at all.
Now we have a four-way fight for 4th place. Dangerous Dan and Muddy Biscuit don't really have to do too much because they will both jump up to 4th and 5th with the penalties.
I'm just going to say right now, 5.3 seconds separate Lukey and Draco already. Even if Draco gets another penalty, he's at pretty much a point where he'd be safe with 2.
Yeah, because he's flying down this straight now. Luke has only just made it past that corner.
And now, what Muddy Biscuit is praying for is if these 3 take each other out.
Vettel's doing some weird movements to stop.
Oh, Vettel's got to be careful. You're only allowed to do 1 manoeuvre to break the toe. If you're doing multiple manoeuvres, that will result in investigation of the stewards immediately because that is illegal manoeuvres to try and break the toe. You're only allowed to do one to break it, and then you have to leave it as is.
Will there be 3 wide? Dangerous Dan.
No, but 2.
Vettel's out of DRS. Will Mega Centurion go for the bomb? Contact.
He does it.
Pushes.
Touches.
Oh, Dangerous Dan contact.
And Dan hits the back.
Don't believe there's any damage.
Muddy's in it. Muddy's in
Luki's
contention
now
now for
6.1
4th.
seconds behind Draco. Muddy is chasing Dangerous Dan down still. Sticking with these 4. Sticking it to the 4
Second to last lap, by the way. Flown by this race.
Wait, who's got the... Hold on, let me have a look. Who's got the... Vettel has the fastest lap so far.
And Centurion down the inside on Vettel. Vettel can't defend. Centurion moves up. Dangerous Dan now.
Draco had a
one to
slide.
attack the Ferrari.
Draco had a massive slide out of the hairpin section.
Oh, Vettel making a retaliation on Centurion. Backs off last second. He gets a little peek.
Dangerous Dan with a very good exit out of that corner. Up the inside
But
of
Vettel
Vettel.
doesn't.
Dangerous Dan just behind him. It looked like Dangerous Dan was right on the side of him.
What's Vettel going to do?
Dangerous Dan. Vettel goes to the inside. What a...
He sent it!
To the inside. Mega Centurion with a beautiful defending, sorry. Dangerous Dan.
Oh my god!
Is it going to
Down
go
the
3
inside
wide?
goes Vettel!
3 wide!
No, 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 no. I'm not liking this. This is scary.
Dangerous Dan dives to the inside.
Vettel gets in front. What a battle for P4.
Muddy is slowly falling back though.
I just have to say, Vettel sent a really late move. That was a switchback and a half.
He almost went off the track. He just kept it.
Yeah. He caught Centurion unawares and he pulled it off. Vettel is in 4th place, but obviously it won't stay. He'll lose 2 positions because of his penalty. We're on the final lap of the race. I would look at CSR Draco and Luki, but the battle has been so intense. Vettel moves to the right by the wall. They're all following each other's slipstream and toes. The question is who will get out on top in terms of the battle for the top 4, because unfortunately for Muddy Biscuit, it doesn't look like the championship is going to go his way unless Luki makes a mistake here and now. Dangerous Dan round the outside into the chicane. He's challenging Mega Centurion, getting to the hairpin.
Goes for the
Centurion
switchback.
holds the
Goes for the
inside,
switchback.
makes the late lunge. Dan gets a better run.
Beautiful switchback from Dangerous Dan.
But Centurion's got the DRS assistance.
Dangerous Dan doesn't. Vettel's just casually flying along. Draco has gained 9 seconds on Luki.
Oh, Dangerous Dan is the back of Centurion. Vettel holds the front. And now I would like to stay with this battle because...
Muddy Biscuit is gaining on Dangerous Dan. If he can get ahead of Dangerous Dan, he will jump Dangerous Dan in the swings. Mega Centurion and Vettel both...
Oh my god!
Contact, Dangerous Dan following him through. Oh!
Dan and Vettel make contact. Round the outside.
Draco comes across the line
So
in P1.
Draco wins the final
Incredible.
race of the season.
Luki coming
And
around the
as it
last corner.
stands, Luki round the final corner, he gets 2nd place, and we have Division 2's Drivers' Champion. And because of Vettel's drive and Luki's drive, that means Racing Point also are the Constructors' Champions of the 2nd Division of RSF1.
Oh, with a massive dive bomb on the last corner.
Oh my god!
Oh,
Muddy to
Dangerous Dan almost had
5th.
him.
So that means it's confirmed. Luki is your driver's champion. And with 10 cars, we got a glorious show. And that means Racing Point don't just take the driver's crown, they take the constructor's crown. It is double glory for the pair of them today. And on Abu Dhabi, on the final race of the season,
Very, very, very
my
good
God.
race to commentate.
I've not seen intense action at Abu Dhabi since, Sebastian Vettel when he crossed the line and they were basically counting the positions between himself and Fernando Alonso and praying And then going on board with Rubens. Rubens is not off the track on purpose. He's, it's the last moment of the season.
Don't get validated.
What a moment to enjoy his last moment in RSF1's 2020 cars with a few donuts. And the last couple of laps there was monumentally insane. Obviously, Vettel didn't get into the top 3, but because he is Constructors Champion in Division 2, we have to invite Vettel as well. So can you please invite Draco, Lukey, Hardy, Vettel, and Rubens, please?
Yep.
So you're inviting P1, 2, 3, 7, and 8.
Oh, what? I don't know.
Here you have it. The final race of the season.
Oh, damn it.
It's because we're waiting on the lobby to end. But Vettel, a good drive, joined late. He did exactly what he needed to do to secure the Constructors' Championship, and also keep Muddy at bay to allow Lukey the opportunity to pull away. But Draco, good recovery as well, because with that penalty, it almost looked like he wasn't going to do it. But then he just suddenly cut the sandbags off.
Draco,
remember when I said that joke about the scissors? Just cut the bags off and off he goes.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what he did, and he found instantly time to cover off, even if he got a second penalty.
Rubens as well, yeah?
Yeah, Rubens as well. We did say Rubens was going to join us regardless of where he finished.
Recently played with Federica.
So we've got Vettel, we've got Hardy. All drivers that join, please make sure you don't include your audio until we bring you in for the interview. So Vettel is in, we've got Hardy. We just need to hope that we get Lukey. Because you are because you're Racing Point, aren't you? And
he forgot mine. He just wanted to Eric, didn't he?
You do realise, Vettel, that even though you was in the Ferrari because you joined late, you are a Constructors Champion. So we'll come to Vettel in a moment with Lukey as well. Obviously, we're going to interview the drivers as normal with third, second, and third. Then we'll interview our Constructors Champion, and then obviously because we'll be interviewing Lukey anyways, we don't need to do a Drivers Championship interview because I'm pretty sure we'll express how happy he is.
Yeah, we're still waiting on Lukey and Draco and Rubens. There's Draco.
There's Draco. Rubens
Lukey
will join us in a minute.
Lukey again.
Now we just need Lukey.
Invite to party. There we go. Let's see if he joins.
You can go for a cigarette now. Obviously, we'll be interviewing the top. Yeah, we're doing the top 3 first, so you have time. That sounds like Vettel had a hell of a race.
He's stressed. There he is. There's Lukey.
So there's Lukey. We just gotta hope that Rubens does join. So
it's open anyway. So.
Would you like to do? I kind of want to interview the top 2. Would you be okay doing P3?
Yeah.
I'll do P2 and P1.
That's fine.
All right. So I'll let you interview Hardy.
Hardy, how was that race for you then?
It started off pretty wild in qualifying, to be honest. I mean, well, obviously not Q1 or Q2, but yeah, the Q3 runs were pretty exciting because a certain driver blocked me on a lap, so I was pretty mad at that. So I would have started P3 on the grid with that. But yeah, started down in P6. I noticed that Rubens was ahead of me, so I was a little bit nervous because he was on the softs. But then Muddy was behind me, and I don't know if you know, but me and Lukey, I'm basically his wingman. Especially after USA, that incident was lovely. But yeah, for this race, I just knew that I had to squeeze in between Lukey and Muddy, so then Lukey could win the championship. No offense to Muddy, but yeah, Lukey, obviously I'll go for him for the championship. And yeah, the race was pretty boring for most parts up until the undercuts from quite a lot of people going onto the softs, because the undercuts are huge around here. And yeah, it made me, in my second stint, only do softs for like 6 laps before going on to my last set, because Muddy and Mega Centurion did a huge undercut. But yeah, I just managed to get out in front, shoulder barge them out in sector 3, and just get on with the job at hand and get into the podium.
Yeah, obviously in qualifying wasn't the best, because obviously we only had nine people. So, were you expecting to be like top 5, or were you did you expect to be a bit further up or maybe a bit lower?
Well, as soon as I saw Predals wasn't racing, I knew that there was actually a chance of, getting a podium. But yeah, I knew that Draco was ridiculously fast, and Lukey obviously had the pace in our practice sessions that we were doing. But I knew I was in for a top 5. I knew I would be able to beat Muddy, because Muddy's not as strong as me in race, like my race pace.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just like helping out Lukey, to be honest. But I couldn't do it without the power of the HDL and Hasbulla helping me throughout the season. Really, like me and Lukey really got carried by Hasbulla, and the foundation of the HDL really made us have the pace this season.
Well, obviously, very intense race on the last few laps. Just behind you, in fact, for fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. Obviously, were you keeping an eye on that? I know they weren't really challenging you, but with the pace that they all had, and obviously holding them up, were you worried about that at all?
No, because I know Vettel had like 12 seconds penalties. Mega Centurion got one. I was more worried about Dangerous Dan, to be honest, because like he was like sort of copying my strat.
Yeah, he was looking quite fast at the end.
Yeah, but then he just got held up in that huge battle that was going on, and I just gained like 3 seconds in Sector 3 alone. I have no idea what happened, but yeah, I'm certainly not complaining. So yeah, wasn't really an issue.
Well, obviously, congrats on P3, and
Cheers.
how many podiums is that for you?
Lost count, it's too many.
Oh. Alright, well, obviously, congrats on P3, and hopefully see you in there in next season.
Right. Now, P2. Lukey, this is a double-barreled interview for you because you may have gotten second place, so obviously it's not your first time on the podium here. You know, you've had quite a few appearances, but today you've done everything that you can, and it has paid off because thanks to your efforts as well as Vettel, obviously we'll be interviewing Vettel in a moment after he's had his cigarette and he comes back, you are the drivers and the constructors champion. You've managed to take both the crowns after valiantly pushing and fighting today. But before we even go on about the race, how are you feeling right now?
Tired, I'm honest. Yeah, a bit tired. I just want to go to bed. I just want to go to bed. Like, yeah.
It's not him yet.
Now my arm started to hurt towards the end of the race because I had my vaccine yesterday. So it started to ache a tiny bit at the end.
Ooh.
So I started to lose a bit of time, but it's all right. It's all right at the moment. But yeah, just want to go to bed if I'm honest. Like, not gonna lie.
Well, obviously, because you are feeling the effects, we won't keep you here too long then, in consideration for you, but at least give us a rundown how you feel in the race was for you today.
Yeah, race played out perfectly for me. Plan was to just stick with Draco much as I could because I knew he was going to be quicker than me, and mirror whatever Muddy did because I didn't want to do a different strategy and something go wrong. So I just wanted to mirror him. And I had that 10-second gap to him, so if he pitted a lap earlier, I wasn't going to be undercut by him at all. So it was a perfect race for me.
And the final time as well that you'll be racing in the pink car because the next season we'll be switching pink for green. Racing Point will no longer be driving in Division 2. Next time Division 2 take their time in an official league race, we'll be seeing Aston Martin join the fray. Same with Renault. Alpine will be making their appearance. But Lukey, the fact that you've managed to do everything you can and your hard work has finally paid off. You grabbed 2 crowns today, and does it give you a really good confidence boost going into Season 5?
Yeah, gonna have to see what happens. Obviously, it's a new game. Everyone's pace will probably change a bit, so just gonna have to see what happens. Also, I just want to say GG to Muddy as well. Very close, went all the way down to the wire at the end. So GG to him and all of Racing Point as well. Yeah, the constructors. So GG everyone.
Yeah, it wasn't easy for a bit, but when eventually you did manage to get a teammate again, and Vettel stepped in. So I think originally your teammate. Who was your teammate originally first?
Honestly, I can't even remember.
Granty,
oh, no,
wasn't it?
It might have been Grant.
I had Zizu right at the start of the season.
Oh, so...
I had Zizu, Grunty, There's a couple others in there as well, but yeah, I can't remember them all.
And then you got Vettel
Yeah.
at the end, and it looks like Vettel did everything he did as well, and it paid off for both of you because you got enough points to win the constructors. But congratulations, Lukey, not just on today, but on a valiant season. It has been a truly tremendous honour for me to commentate over this division. I know I've had a few days off here and there because obviously I do work in a hospital. It's a bit rough and all that, and with the coronavirus sort of pandemic still going on. But yeah, you have done a truly tremendous job this season, and I want to say, thank you for giving us a really, really good show.
Cheers, mate. Also, shout out to the HDL and Hasbulla. Final comments.
Well, you got to thank the people that helped you. With either giving you advice, setups, or anything really. Every bit of help is really good, and obviously it's good to see that everything worked out perfectly for you. So congratulations once again, and well done on second place today. And now, CSR Draco. So let me get this straight. You suddenly came in a burst of pace. Before today, you'd won 5 of the 6 previous races. You make that 6 out of 7 now.
Disgraceful.
I know I'm going to do a Mark Webber. I'm not going to do a Mark Webber and be like, "What the hell did you eat this morning?" But no, yeah, generally serious. What the hell did you eat to make you that quick? Because I want some for Thursday.
I don't even remember what I ate, but must have been good.
I gave you the fuel that you needed today, but a very good race today. You lost out on pole in the qualifying to Lukey, but then I don't know what was going on with your car, but you just suddenly had pace above the rest. You were just mega quick at the latter stages. But tell us how it's been for you today.
Well, GG to Racing Point and Lukey for taking both championships. So GG to them. But yeah, after last week, missing out on pole by 1,000th of a second, which was quite hard. Quite disappointed with that, but still good. Really was hungry to get the win and the pole again. Unfortunately, invalidated that Q3 lap again at the end when I was like 5/10 up. But I knew I had the pace in the race, and I knew my strategy, so I knew I could put it in the race and maybe win. And had the pace, managed to get past Lukey at the start, and he went for one stop, which worked out good at the end, so GG. And once I put on those fresh softs, I just kept flying and just managed to win with 10 seconds, so yeah, very happy with that.
And obviously, the final win of the season, we move into Season 5. Obviously, we can't tell if you're going to be in Division 2, Division 1, Division 3, because, we need to let everyone get adjusted to the game. Thank you, Vettel. Everyone needs to get used to the new games model, because apparently, from what I've heard, it's meant to try and also break the sort of the difference between a controller user and a wheel user, but I remain to see if that's evident. But anyway, yeah, so good confidence boost going into the next season. Are you going to join us for that?
Yeah, I will. Definitely. Hopefully I can do as well as I did in this. Well, I joined mid-season, so hopefully I can do a full season and manage to maybe get a championship. But I'll definitely join you.
Well, congratulations on the win, and also a very, very good job on the latter stages of the season. Again, 6 races out of the 7, that we've had that you've won. So, you can take that with you as a nice way to wrap up the season. You've pretty much won the third quarter of the season. But yeah, thank you very much, Draco. Hopefully, if you'd like to stay with us just for a few more minutes, but you are welcome to leave if you'd like to. And now, obviously, we don't need to interview Lukey again because we already spoke to him about the constructors and the drivers. So we're going to speak to his teammate. Obviously, he did join very late in the season. But yeah, RSF1 Vettel, hello and welcome to the comms box. How are you feeling today? Obviously, because I know you had a bit of a difficult race with all those penalties. You battled a little bit with everyone else, but in the end, you and Lukey still did everything right enough to get you that constructors. Is that a nice way to end the season for you?
It is, but I have two constructors now. One overall constructors, one constructors in the division. Well, I have to say, I've done shit all for that. I'm like Valtteri Bottas, I'm doing shit all for that, but I'll still take it.
But still, that's a couple of championships that you get to finish the season with. And obviously, you could say, nice. Performance, you wish was better, but still, Vettel, in the end, you managed to help Racing Point recover in the season to get some points and then win it. So, that's saying something. You played good in the team game. But the question is, Vettel, are you going to join us for the next season?
Of course.
That'd be good to see. Obviously,
I want to make AJ look silly losing Ferrari overall constructors this season and next season as well. That's my goal.
It's going to say you and AJ are quite backwards and forwards, so it's quite funny.
Of course.
Obviously, I won't be really in the comms seat anymore for this season coming up, but I will be keeping an eye on Twitch, so I'll be making little appearances in the chat. But yeah, well done, Vettel, and it'll be good to know that you're going to be joining us for the next season. And now, before we wrap up, we also have Rubens in the party. We did mention earlier that he will be joining us after the race, and so Rubens, make sure you have your audio included. I'm pretty sure you know the gist. And if you'd like, you can talk about your race.
No, I don't want to talk about that.
Beautiful spin.
I don't want to talk about that.
Beautiful spin. Even I'm
Well,
impressed.
you did get to enjoy some donuts.
I did.
I think he spun at the end.
I don't want.
And at the start as well.
I don't want to
Start
talk,
of the
I don't want
race
to,
was spin,
I don't want to
end
talk
of
about
the
the
race.
race. Okay, the race is terrible. All right. I had a lunge on Draco, got tipped into a non-malicious spin by Dan, and that was it. I just trundled around to the back, and I was like, I want to do donuts here, so I did. Anyway.
Well, you got 4 points still, so you've got your goal of getting points.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have an announcement to make.
It's not really.
Announcement.
It's not announcements really. I mean, kind of everyone knows, but I just want to say my piece first of all, because obviously this is your last time in the comms box, at least for a while. Might be. I hope personally you do come back, and that's just me personally. I know there's many people in the league that feel the same as well, racing and commentating. But no, just on behalf of the comms team and myself, just thank you very much for your hard work in this comms box. Everyone puts in the effort, but you put in, just that little bit more. What's the word?
110%, I'd say.
No, it's not to bring it's not to bring others down, that kind of thing. You bring in the effort, you bring in the passion every time you do it. You've also stepped in at times as well when I needed somebody, and you were like, "Yep, I'll do that as well." Yeah, just thank you very much, and I hope you do come back. I think because if F2 stays on a Sunday. I think the division will miss you, and so on, whoever races it. But yeah, just obviously, I wish this race was a little bit more numbers to it, a bit more excitement. Although it was still exciting, apparently. Saw on the mini.
It made for really good battles.
I saw on the mini map.
A 4-man battle for the last 2 laps.
Fourth place.
To add my part on, obviously Division 2 has been my baby for 4 seasons now in terms of commentating on it. I've seen really big moments. I remember Magic Marks back in season 1, Brezina, season 2. So much was happening in that season, and in this division in the 4 seasons that spanned. And I had really good help. I have to give a shout out to people current and former, especially people like Bodder. Element Snow, even though he's not in the comms team anymore, everyone quite liked his post office formation laps. Vettel, SF1, Rubens, Source, as I said, current and former. There's been some truly tremendous people in this league, and obviously this is not goodbye forever. It is sort of a farewell for now. Because, as I said, I've been at it for nearly 2 years now, and as much as I still love this league and I still love league racing, after some time you just need to take a little bit of a break to recharge the batteries, because when it happens too constantly, I guess it's sort of a little bit overwhelming at times, especially with how coronavirus has been lately and how heavy work has been, and in times where I've been too tired to also really do a stream. So it'd be nice to take a little bit of time to recharge. I might join back near the end of the season, and I'm hoping that if I don't take the full season's break and I do come back, that the comms team and maybe even Division 4 will welcome me back in to the fold whenever they're ready for me. But yeah, until then, thank you everyone for your tremendous support over the years. Back when I lost Dad, when I lost my nan, and I lost my dog as well. Obviously, that one doesn't sound really massive, but I really struggled at times, especially with the loss of both my family, and the dog was a good support for me. And when he died, it really hit me hard. And this league helped pull me back out of it. As I said, that Baku win lifted my spirits when times were crap. So I want to give a big thanks to everyone, because RSF1's like not just a league to me. It is a very big, weird, happy family, even though we've had our times where we all are at each other's throats, but we're all still okay at the end.
Isn't that what families do sometimes?
Yeah, I guess they do get a little bit at each other's throats.
You always get the bickering brother and sister, or the bickering mum and dad. We just got to figure out now who is the mum and who is the dad in RSF1.
No comment. I know Vettel was going to want to say something. And I respect Vettel for keeping his mouth quiet, because I know once he says something, I imagine AJ will respond. Anyway, yeah, to wrap it up, thank you very much to everyone. I appreciate everything up to this point, and I hope to come back again. And when I do come back, that they'll welcome me back in with open arms. And also thank you, Source, for persevering with your lag problems today. You got back in and you managed to deliver the show. It was quite entertaining to work with you once again, and hopefully it won't be the final time, and it'll be once again in the future. Hopefully I can work with you. Thank you very much, everyone. It's been a hell of a season. It's been a glorious one. Racing Point, double crown today. And to go over the top three once again before we wrap up for today, it goes Hardy third, it goes Lukey second, and Draco with the win. Thank you very much, everyone. If you want to see more Division 2 action, unfortunately, you're going to have to wait a little while, because when the next game comes out, we've got to do some pre-season testing. We have no idea who's going to be racing in it. Until then, you won't be seeing these lads much anymore. But if you want to see more racing action, please tune in tomorrow at 8 PM. I think it's when Division 3 make their bout around Abu Dhabi. Hopefully a little bit more numbers, but then again, I don't think a lot of people will bother with the final race of the season, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, please tune in tomorrow as well if you want to see more racing action around Abu Dhabi. But in the meantime, take care, stay safe, and farewell.